Hey, everybody that's here. How are you guys? How's everyone doing? Hi, Lewis. Laugh Through Life, Alabama. Hez. Haley. How are you guys doing tonight? Starting a little early. Hope that's all right. It's been a while since I've been live. I wanted to do it last weekend, but I fell asleep really early Saturday night, so I didn't get to do it. Hi, Diana. How are you? So I figured I'd just do a surprise live tonight. I figured we can react to this Trisha Paytas video. I've watched like a quarter of it and I stopped watching it because I was like, this might be good to react to. So hi, Winter Rose. Hi, Mimi. How are you? Royal Wednesday. Satu. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Hey, how are you? Hey, Alabama, y'all. How's everyone doing? It's good to see you guys. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? I'm just so you guys know what's going on with the channel. I've been getting like a ton of requests to do a video on Creepshow art. I'm actually working on a video on her right now just because like the news is fresh and I'm usually like way behind on everything. So I figured I'd go ahead and upload that. I'm hoping to get it done next week sometime. I had to start going back to work. I was working from home for like a year and a half, so it's like really cut my time on the weekdays, but I'm hoping to have the first part edited and uploaded sometime this coming week on that. And then I do want to cover like the Trisha situation and all of that stuff too. So just be patient with me. My videos take forever to do. So, but yeah. But yeah, happy Father's Day to anyone that's a dad. We had a good Father's Day today for my dad. We all cooked breakfast for him and all that good stuff. So he really enjoyed it. So I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. We'll get right into the video and then everybody else can roll in as they get notifications. How are you, Colorless Canvas? Laugh Through Life. Let me put this on here. I got everything ready to go. This is like insane, you guys. Like she has 31,000 dislikes on this video. It's insane. It's insane the amount of videos, the amount of tweets she's been putting out, the TikToks. It's crazy to me. And I was expecting, like, I hadn't really talked to you guys since all this, the Frenemies stuff happened. I was expecting for the show to end like fairly soon, but I wasn't expecting it to happen like this soon. I figured it was coming, but I did not expect it in that episode at all. And I feel like Trisha, I mean, it's just weird. Trisha just created this herself. Like this whole thing was so unnecessary. But it's just crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. And it's crazy because like there's been a lot of smaller channels like talking against Trisha Paytas, including me. And it's like now that she is like not liked now everybody's paying attention to like the stuff with Moses and the stuff in her past and the stuff that she's never really like genuinely apologized for or actually made changes for. So it's just really interesting to see like how everybody's like speaking up against her now that Frenemies ended. It just took the show ending for people to realize like maybe she isn't this changed person and this great person that everybody made her out to be. I can't tell you how much hate like I've gotten and like a lot of other smaller channels that have gotten like speaking out against her before this all happened. It's just crazy to see the shift in people. So, but yeah, I agree, Alabama, y'all. It's about time people are seeing it. It's about time. I mean, you would think when she admitted to, leaving the bruises on Moses's arm, you would think that that would have waked people up, but no. So Mimi says, my friend is completely crushed that Frenemies ended. It's like me when Eunice Anus ended. I don't know what that is, but yeah, I think a lot of people are really upset the show ended. It's hard. I completely understand, because it's hard when you're like used to watching something. It's something you look forward to every single week, and especially because it just abruptly happened. Like nobody was really expecting it or anything else. I get it's probably really, really upsetting for people to see the show just end like it did. I would probably be mad if I was like, a loyal watcher of it too. But it's just crazy to me. It's just crazy. And it just seems like all of this is over money. And Trisha, according to Trisha, because she spends money like no other, for her to complain about money is just mind-blowing to me. And considering like how generous Ethan was with the deal, I mean, you can't, like, all she has to do is show up 2-3 hours to record, film it, and she gets 45% of each episode. And he was giving her half of memberships of the channel, to my understanding, and she was going to get half of the profit that was going to come out of Frenemies merch for showing up for 2 to 3 hours once a week and not having to do any editing or anything like that. That's a hell of a deal. So for her to bitch about like the highlights and the that little 5%, it's just mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing. So let's see what she has to say. It's probably a repeat of the other 500 videos that she has made, but let's see. Hey, Nikki Jersey, how are you? Hi, LA. Willow. Let's see here. Shane officially back. He has been posting. He made a post on his Instagram and he said that he's sorry he hasn't been uploading. He's been trying to figure out like what exactly he wants to do, but he's not leaving his channel forever. But he's been like really active on social media lately. And I think he is very, very close to uploading on his regular channel. I think he will be, but we'll just have to see. I mean, Tati's back, David's back, and I expect Shane to come back anytime now. We'll just have to see what happens. There's been a lot of speculating on what his comeback video is going to be, but I'll be interested to see what it's going to be about. I don't think it's going to be about Britney Spears, what people were speculating. But let's get into Trisha. Let's see what Trisha has to say.
Broke up. So, like, clickbait is crazy. At this point...
Hold on a minute. I don't know if I started at the beginning.
It's actually...
Okay.
Okay, if this is what we're doing, then this is what we're doing.
Let me know if you can't hear it. Now, this video, so H3, just to kind of give you guys some background if you haven't seen everything that's been going on online, H3 did a podcast and they titled it The Real Reason Frenemies Broke Up. And they were basically making fun of Trisha's sister going on her TikTok and saying that they paid for Disney tickets, which is crazy because he takes that 5%, and it was a really stupid video. I don't understand why she made it. And H3 was basically doing a bunch of memes. They did this really funny skit over it and all of that. And now Trisha is responding. She made like 1 million TikToks and uploaded this video. So that's why she uploaded this video.
Talking about the real reason Frenemies broke up. So, like, clickbait is crazy. At this point, it's actually just like, it's amusing if it wasn't amusing. One, in this video, I will be defending my sister.
And let me know if you can't hear it. But I will say Ethan did he did clickbait that podcast, because I was expecting something totally different when I watched it. I will agree with her on that. But I don't really know what she expects of him. I mean, she's made so many tweets. Her sister's making TikToks. She's uploading millions of videos. I mean, let him poke fun at the situation. I mean, she has screwed him over royally, especially with that merch.
And just continuing the continuation of the saga, because clearly he likes to drag it out. He's making jokes about it. So he says I'm ruining his family, but
he likes to drag it out. She's the queen of dragging stuff out. That's just so funny. She's so hypocritical in the things that she says. It's like hilarious.
Continues to make these videos. This specific one. And also, by the way, there's new merch at sabotage2005.com. I also have skincare at trishkin.com, and there will be plenty of ads in this video. Thank you for coming.
She's got to get that plug in there, doesn't she?
Where do we even start? So, oh God, okay. So I haven't really brought up anything since Sunday, right? So it's gonna be like a little bit of serious, and I don't know, maybe this will probably be a lot serious because like I was biting my tongue, right? Like, you know, people know that like if you hate me, I do a reaction. Everybody knows this, like something that I probably need to work on, but we'll cross that bridge another time. I'm already working through a lot of mental issues. So
that's the thing with her. Like, she bullies people. Like, it's so rare for anybody to respond to her because she literally bullies people into silence. Like, I'm proud of Ethan for uploading the video that he did in response to her when she made like the 3 videos or 2 videos before he even said anything about anything. I'm proud of him for like sticking up for himself, because most people are just bullied into silence with her because she's so obsessive with the stuff that she uploads. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Hey, Iconic Dawson. Hey, everybody else coming in. How are you guys? But it's insane the amount of uploads and tweets and TikToks that she does when anybody says anything small, like the smallest thing, she will respond in an obsessive way. It's crazy to me. I've never seen anything like it.
Ethan clickbaited the frenemies. Might as well be frenemies because it's in the title. Why frenemies really end it or something. To which the only thing he said in the video and the only thing he focused on was, sorry, I'm like burpy, sorry. I'm trying not to edit because I don't have, and I'm sorry that I make so many TikToks and videos because I don't have, and I don't edit my videos because I don't have a crew. I don't have a wonderful staff to produce my content for me and make my little script. It's so funny because like, he's like, we put in so much work to this. Like,
oh, stop. Trisha, you're a multimillionaire. You can put a little bit of effort into your videos. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm always like amazed with her videos because she does no editing with them. And I don't know why it doesn't piss more people off, because there's so much like silences everywhere, or she'll be like making TikToks and her YouTube videos. It's just weird to me. Like, a YouTuber of her size with what, 5 million subscribers? 5 million subscribers doesn't edit at all. She doesn't edit any of her videos. I hardly ever see any jump cuts in them whatsoever. It's just weird. It's absolutely weird. And before she uploaded this video, she literally put out probably like 6 to 9 TikToks about this. And she's basically saying the same stuff. I can already tell she's going to say the same stuff that she said in the TikToks, because that little point she made right there, she said that in her TikToks. It's stupid. It's all a money-making thing to her, and that's what it is. Because that's what people are watching. This already has almost 500,000 views on it. It's ridiculous. And I'm on YouTube Premium, so I can't see the ad breaks, but I'm sure there's probably 1 million ad breaks like she always does.
Ethan just shows up too. Like, he edits out so many times when he's just like, maybe not even in the lives. I think in the lives you can see it, but he edits out so many times when he's looking at the screen and like, what is this? What, this is too confusing. Like, he doesn't, like, the staff puts together the go-to. Anyways, shout out staff. Like, I really do hope that staff be getting that 5% because that was in addition to what they were already getting paid. The staff gets paid whether Frenemies goes or not. They were getting paid years before Frenemies started. 5% was in addition to. And for everyone mocking the 5%, like, it's a lot of money. Like, it is a lot of money. So I really hope they each get about $10,000 raised a month, like each of the employees. Like, honestly, they deserve it, and I hope they get it. But also, Ethan just glossing over the fact that he gets 100% of the highlights, which is 40 million views that I have.
Okay, wait a minute. $10,000 per crew person. If that's accurate, let's just say that's accurate. I don't know how many employees there are, but let's just say that's accurate. $10,000 per employee. Can you imagine what she's actually making in her 45%, if that's a true, accurate number? She may be over exaggerating it, but she's being very well paid. And for her to bitch about 5%, it's crazy to me. And the other thing about it is like the highlights. Somebody posted like a social blade of the H3 highlight page, and it had, I think, like anywhere from 200,000 a year to 450,000 a year. But the thing about that is like those highlights are a mix of Frenemies and the H3 podcast. And most of it is H3 podcast highlights, not Frenemies, because they do multiple episodes each week of the H3 podcast. I think they have After Dark, and then they have like the regular podcast. And I think they do other videos in between. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the Frenemies is such a small portion of that. But let's just say, but the thing with the highlights is who's editing the highlights? Who's breaking up the clips, editing them, uploading them, creating the thumbnails for them, and everything else? It sure as hell isn't Trisha. So why is she so bothered by the highlights? She was getting half of the memberships, and the memberships were for the whole channel. She's just so greedy, like so greedy.
Haven't gotten anything from, which is fine, which is supposed to go for production costs, which the production cost is only the table and the new cameras. But I digress. Okay, cool.
And let me tell you, she's speaking normal. I don't even have this sped up. She's speaking really fast. This is like normal.
He likes to mock it, whatever. It's fine. Like, I get it now. Like, you know, he's also egging this on and dragging this on. So here it is with all the ads and all the glory. Like, I'm happy to do. But one thing that did annoy me, and like I was really trying to hold my tongue, because like for me, I was like, you know what? I just want this to pass. But I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think I'm ready for it to pass. No. Because if you're going to keep dragging it down, so will I. But the thing that really did annoy me, and I will say this is like my serious point that I want to make in this video, because it's like, for one, my sister's TikTok was deleted like an hour after she made it. I hadn't even seen the TikTok before she deleted it. Obviously, she knew that it was going to make things worse. I ask everybody in my life to not talk about it, Moses, everybody, because like it just, one, it makes situations worse, and it gets other people involved that don't need to be involved. I've said this from day one. That is,
then why are you talking about it? Like, if you don't want other people to talk about it, you know your sister was going to comment on it. Your sister comments on everything. Every little situation that you're in, if you're under heat or anything else, your sister's there defending you, which, I mean, that's what families do. But you had to know she was going to say something about something. I mean, come on. And for her to say, oh, we paid for Disney because he takes that 5%, that's just such a ridiculous comment. Like, because he takes an extra 5% of the Frenemies AdSense, that means he's supposed to pay for everybody's trip to Disney. And on top of it, he said that he begged to pay for it. So I hate that. Like, if somebody begs to pay for something and everybody's like, no, it's fine, we're going to pay for it, blah, blah, blah. Don't hold that over their head. Period. It's stupid. It's so stupid.
Between me and Ethan. The issue was Ethan lied, and he admitted to it. He said he misspoke, which is, you lied. He basically told me, he's like, after our big fight on the episode or whatever, he texted me. First, he texted Moses, hey, is Trisha still down to film tomorrow? Obviously, Moses was wrong because he doesn't speak for me. Then he texted me, hey, we spent $5,000. This is this exact thing. We spent $5,000 on this rage room tomorrow. Like, are you still down to film? I was like, Yeah.
Right there, production costs. We spent $5,000 on this room so that we can film this Frenemies vlog. That's where your money's going to. Like, I don't really understand like what else Ethan was supposed to do. Like, he has to take extra money to pay for crew, production, all of that. Like, they're running the whole show. They are, laying everything out so that they know what they're going to talk about each time the show airs. They're getting, venues together if they're going to film somewhere else. They're organizing all of this. So for her to think it's unfair for him to take a 5% cut of the Frenemies episodes plus the highlights, it just it blows my mind, because I don't think anybody would have gave her a deal like this. I just don't. It's a very sweet, generous deal, and she's bitching about it, which blows my mind.
Absolutely, I'm down. Like, that's what I do. I'm a freaking professional. Like, if this was a reality show, I'll come back and like wreak havoc, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, absolutely, I will. So this whole Trisha said she wouldn't come back unless the crew was fired and Dan was fired. Like, that's so insane to me, because I literally was like, yeah, I'm coming back the next day. I come back, like, whatever. But the fact is, I said, yes, I'll come back. Everything is cool. We were texting back and forth about other bullshit that was happening on the internet, just like drama or whatever. And then a couple hours later, he's like, actually, that was Sam's segment that you discarded, and she's really upset, and Ethan's really upset, and the crew just needs a few days. Like, they don't want to film tomorrow. Like, that's what he said. So now that he misspoke about that, the thing that launched all of this, which is like, oh, they felt disrespected. Like I had already had my issues with, like, I don't know if Frenemies was working in my favor. Like, it's stuff I should have brought up to Ethan, and I did not. But I was already having issues, and I was like, okay, if this is not reflecting where the crew feels disrespected, like, I should quit. I told Ethan I was going to quit before I made the video. Like,
honestly, like, I really think I think it was a mixture of a lot of things with Trisha, but I really think she was bothered by that. I think her name's Sam. I think she just said her name was Sam, by her being hired. I just think that Trisha likes to be like the only like female around a bunch of men. It just seems like she gets very jealous of. It's kind of like the vlog squad. She liked being the only female in the vlog squad too. She just seems like a very jealous type of person, because she just was so mad that they hired Sam, which is the girlfriend of one of the crew guys. So she just seems so jealous over it, because why is it a big deal that they hired somebody? Like, I don't get that. That was like her number one complaint when they were going back and forth. Like, they were like I think that was in her first video. She kept bringing her up and bringing her up and bringing her up. It's like, who cares? What does it matter? She just seems very jealous of this person.
I made the video. There was no hate in that video, all that stuff like that. By the way, there's just so much to unload, because I was really like holding back.
And for her to like really come down on that segment, what was it, like fan advice or something like that? And I think Sam was the one that put it all together. I don't know if it was like her idea. I think there was like miscommunication, whether it was her idea or whatever, but she put the whole segment together to have it ready that day. And for her to like hone in on that one thing, because she probably knew that she put the whole thing together, it just seems like bitter jealousy type shit. It really does.
But by just putting a disclaimer, like, don't send hate towards people, like, that doesn't help. When you punch down, which Ethan is notorious for punching down, and that's what he did with my sister. So let's go back to this whole why frenemies really.
Oh, and I just want to say something real quick, because I know somebody's probably gonna maybe come in here and say it. Like, Trisha does go by she, her, they, them. I just want to make that clear. It's on her TikTok, it's on her Instagram, it's on all of that. So I'll be referring to her probably as mainly she and her, but I'll try to put some they, them in there.
Ended, which is him implying that my sister was the reason that it ended, I guess, because that's all he talked about in the video. Ethan does a thing where he punched down on people, right? Like, he obviously knows he has a really loyal fan base, and they're a really loud fan base. I'm obviously the one getting all the hate. They see that. So for them to do this video, like, defending themselves when I'm the one getting all the hate, it's like, it's really just punching down. It's just...
That's not true, because Trisha, your fans are brutal. Like, the fans that are sticking by you, they're going over to Ethan and hating on Ethan. Do I think you guys should just stop going back and forth and let it die down? Yeah, absolutely, I do. Do I think it was unnecessary for Ethan to kind of poke fun at the situation? Yeah, I do, but it was kind of funny. I mean, I was laughing at the whole 5% bit thing, but you guys just won't let it go. And I think he's just really sick and tired of it. Because if you compare Ethan's responses to your responses, they don't even compare to each other. He has spoken 2 videos about the situation and probably put out a handful of tweets. I think somebody legitimately counted Trisha's tweets, and there's over 100, and that was before she deleted a whole batch of them. It's crazy, the amount of uploads and tweets and everything on the situation. Hey, everybody coming in. Hey, the Dark Magician, Illuminati. Hey, how are you? Hey, everybody else. Victoria. How are you guys doing?
Just punching when it's low. My sister deleted that TikTok within an hour. It wasn't even up. Ethan had texted Moses that night, about the TikTok. I was like, what the heck? And I went to go look for it. It wasn't up. Then Ethan re-uploads her TikTok on his. It's still up. Okay, fine. Tit for tat, eye for eye. You want to you got upset by something she said, okay, defend yourself, whatever. But then to make a whole podcast where you clearly clickbaited, where you knew everyone was going to watch, the real reason why Frenemies ended, and it worked. There's 100,000 people watching it live. It's 1.5 million views now. I was like, and then to talk about it all about my sister and all the work that she does and stuff like that, I was like, that's punching low, because she already deleted it. What else do you want? She already deleted it. I don't know.
But at that point, it was already shared everywhere. There were copies everywhere. It was going to get shared everywhere no matter what. It was going to be uploaded onto YouTube. It was going to get views because it's about the whole Frenemies situation. It was going to get shared everywhere, and your sister was going to get hated on no matter what. I mean, that's the facts. She should have just kept her mouth shut about it, because her defense was really bad. Really bad. I agree. The memes are hilarious. Laugh through life. They're so funny because it's so ridiculous. Complaining about 5%.
Talk about it in here. It's first and foremost, I have to say, this is just so stupid that this is what Ethan grasped onto. And I am saying Ethan because, again, it's between me and Ethan. I know Hila and him are married, and she wants to defend him and sit by him. I respect that. I totally respect that. But again, as far as I'm concerned, this is between me and Ethan. Me and Ethan text. I haven't had any conversations with Hila about this. So, and she respectfully, she wasn't at the Frenemies when it happened. So, of course,
it's I'm not a fan of Ethan, but I feel really bad for him and Hila in this situation. I really do, because they have tried a long, long time to get pregnant, and this is supposed to be happy time in their life, and they literally just announced that they were pregnant, and then she turns around and does this to them. I can't even imagine how stressful it is. It's terrible timing for all of this. I don't understand why somebody would turn around and do something like this, especially when they're in the height of being so happy about being pregnant, and she turns around and does this. It just seems so spiteful almost. It's just messed up to me.
Of course, she's not going to know about everything that happened, but what he fills her in on. And again, I respect it. And I just want to reiterate that I love and respect Hila. I appreciate her for forgiving me for stuff that nasty stuff I said to her, last year. It's disgusting. I know I would never forgive me. I don't forgive myself for it.
I agree, Colorless Canvas. 30% would have been generous for her, because she's showing up for 2 to 3 hours once a week. That would have been a very generous deal. 45% is very, very overly generous, in my opinion. It's crazy that she's complaining about this. It's all about Trisha. It's all about Trisha. Nobody else matters. It's always about Trisha. You can even tell, like in the Frenemies episodes that I've watched, you can tell when Trisha's talking about something, Ethan backs her up on it. Ethan is listening. He's going, conversating with her about what she wants to talk about. But the minute that Ethan talks about anything that he wants to talk about, Trisha just acts like she wants nothing to do with it. I remember when he was talking about the whole lawsuit with Triller, she just looked like, I don't want any part of this. Don't talk about it around me. I think she ended up like taking a bathroom break right in the middle when he was talking one time. It just seems like she needs to be the center of attention 24/7. It's so selfish. I have never seen somebody that is as self-absorbed as Trisha is. And it's always everybody else's fault. It's never her fault. She's always the victim in every single situation. Always the victim.
And I like I said, I love and respect her, and I think she's, she is busy running a huge company that I'm sure gives contracts to their employees. But besides that, again, I'm keeping this between me and him because everyone's like, Ethan saying you're ruining our family, when Ethan is the one texting Moses saying that I tried to ruin his life last year, like bringing stuff up from so long ago. Like it's really frustrating. It's really annoying. Like, and before anyone's like, oh my God.
Yes. Where'd that comment go? Remember when she's talking about her sister being a small creator. She was sending hate to anybody that was like even remotely like talking against her. She was sending hate to a lot of smaller drama channels or, commentary channels. She was actually copyright claiming videos that were talking against her in that situation. I've seen copyright claims put on videos that were not agreeing with her in that situation. So for her to say like, it's a smaller channel or a smaller creator and you're, on your big platform, like it's just a hypocritical statement because she does the exact same thing, the exact same things. I can't tell you how many small channels got like massively hated for talking against her ever since she dropped Shane as a friend, because that's when everything flipped with public opinion on Trisha. And if you were talking against her in any way, you got massively hated by people. That's just the way it went. And it was only smaller channels talking against her because she pretty much has all the drama channels in her back pocket. They all flipped. They all went, in her favor. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. They lifted this person up that has been so toxic for so many years and literally just admitted to, laying her hands on her fiance, lifting this person up. I mean, that's not something to lift up. It's crazy to me. I just don't understand how the internet works sometimes because it's common sense. It's all common sense. If you just look at the whole situation as a whole, you can see. She never changed. She never changed. If you watch the episodes of Frenemies back, she's terrible to people. I don't care what they have done. I've seen her ripping Jason apart as a person, like saying that he looks like he got smashed in the face with a shovel and that he has like an illness. I mean, when is that ever okay? Like she played victim with the whole Hair by Jay situation, which was awful, but she projects the same type of shit towards people like Hair by Jay did to her. It's the truth. It's the truth.
God, why is Moses telling you those? Like Moses and I are also family. You're like, oh, that's between family. Moses and I are a family now. Like we're getting married. We are a family. You know what I mean? We share everything. I share every single text with him, whatever the case. So, and it's fine. It's fine, And I mean,
and the thing that bothers me with Moses, like Moses, it just seems like Moses doesn't have his own life outside of Trisha. Like, he goes with her everywhere. He was like at every taping of Frenemies. He's always around her. Like, he can't do anything on his own. He is always with her 24/7, and that's not healthy. Like, when you're in a relationship, you got to go do stuff on your own once in a while, or you got to let your partner leave the house while you know, stay at the house and relax a little bit on your own. It's not healthy to be around each other 24/7. Yeah, Danielle, Moses acts like her caretaker almost. Yeah, it's weird. It's just so weird. He was with Trisha at when she went on Gabby Hanna's podcast. He was with her there. He's with her everywhere. It's just odd to me. I've just never seen anything like it.
Right now, they should know that, whatever. And it's like, I want him to have a relationship.
It just seems very controlling to me. Like, I've been in a very controlling, abusive relationship, and it just seems very controlling. And the fact that she has later laid her hands on him and everything else is just, it really makes me wonder, like, what is going on? Like, she took his keys from him for like 12 hours. Like, that's confinement. You can't do that while laying her hands on him. That's criminal confinement. Like, she has broken laws that she should have got charges for. Like, I can't even imagine, like, being, you know, held against your will for 12 hours when you just want to fucking leave. You know what I mean? I've been held for like an hour and it was horrible. I can't imagine 12 hours fighting back and forth. That's crazy. No, she hasn't been arrested for anything. Nothing. Not to my knowledge. She drove her car into Jason Nash's house. She banged on his windows. She, like, I think, jumped in his pool naked. And then when he, after like a few hours, he got scared, and he ended up hopping in his car, and she chased him down the road and ended up getting in a car accident. Like, absolutely mind-blowing stuff that I can't believe, like, people look past. Like, it's crazy. And she's on camera. She is on camera admitting that. I have clips of her admitting to all of that. I mean, you can't get it handed to you, you know, straight from the source like that very often. But she's admitted to a lot of this stuff. That's what makes it even more mind-blowing, that people look past a lot of it, is she admits to it all. It's weird. It's very weird.
They're still invited to the wedding. Like I love, like, you know, again, this is a me and Ethan thing, has literally nothing to do with anyone else as far as I'm concerned. And again, if you know, if it's like, okay, they're a duo, that's fine. I don't want to put that on Hila, because she has always been respectful, nice, and gracious to me, and I can't say the same thing about Ethan all the time. So there's just so much to unload in this. There's so much to unload because Ethan, okay. Back to the sister thing. So Ethan brought it up in this whole thing, and you can't just give the disclaimer, don't send hate, when you're going with millions of followers and you're getting millions of viewers on your podcast to a person, my sister in this case, a small content creator who has 100,000 followers on TikTok, and that's where she posted it and deleted it right away. Like, you are sending a hate mob. That's just it. That's just, you know, it would be like me punching down on like channels that dislike me. You know, there's a lot of channels, and
this is literally a repeat of her TikToks. Literally a repeat of her TikToks. She has the nerve to criticize Ethan for recycling content. All of this whole video so far is a repeat of all those TikToks that they made.
Channels that speak like straight up, like just straight up lies about me. And it's like, I don't punch down because it's inciting hate regardless. Like, if there's an issue and if there's a...
But Trisha, like, you literally send the hate mob towards so many people. So many people. Like, it's just such a hypocritical statement. Like, you're the queen of sending hate mobs towards people. I just can't believe she can sit there and say that with a straight face. Yeah. Everything she says this entire time is a repeat. It's just circles round and round. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I can't believe that people people actually like enjoy watching this over and over and over again. Like, this video has almost 500,000 views to it. That's crazy. And it's just a repeat.
Serious enough issue, right? You get legal involved, you get whatever, but sending like your fans and like broadcasting it to them, like implying that that's the reason that Frenemies ended, the real reason why Frenemies ended, and then bringing up all the work that she does right online, like on other platforms, if you know what I'm saying, like the spicy account and stuff. You know, it's really just.
But she brought that up in her TikTok. Like, she brought that up in her TikTok. That's why he was talking about it, because she was saying that Ethan couldn't afford her because you were wanting your sister to get hired at Frenemies or something, because apparently you were mad they hired Sam. And your sister was like, I don't need a job at Frenemies. So, you know, I don't think you ever really wanted to hire anybody at Frenemies. You were just mad that Sam was hired at Frenemies. And I think that's the real reason for it. I don't think your sister needed a job there at all. I think that's a big fat lie.
Just inciting hate, and she's been getting a lot of it. And yesterday was really tough, and a lot of people think I was like trying to ignore it. It's like really that whole day, because I saw the title of it, I was trying to like disengage, because I was like, okay, I'm not trying to like put this further. Like, I really am, like, I'll just end it. But like the fact is, like, I, except for my TikToks this morning, because I did go off on TikTok this morning, just like Fish88 if you want to follow. You know, Ethan's been making.
She does this all the time. In these call out videos, she always plugs her stuff. She always plugs her stuff. And she's really good too, because she'll like say it like under her breath, like she just did. Tris like Fish88, if you want to go follow. Like, she does that in these call out videos all the time, because she knows the views are there. She knows people are going to go follow or buy her product and all of that stuff. Like, she's wearing her, what do you call it? Sad Boy merch. And she plugged it at the beginning of this video. The skincare line that's flopping miserably. It's just, yeah, it's a joke. It's just a joke, man. Like, I just can't believe anybody takes this seriously.
About this, like, it could end at any time. I stopped talking about it Sunday. It could have ended at any time, but he's making the TikToks, he's making these skits with his employees, which is fine. I know they're like trying to mock it and like make it light, because he's trying to glaze over the fact of why it really ended, which is him lying to the employees. Because let's just say in a world where I wanted all the employees fired, Ethan as a boss talking to them behind my back like that, like when I'm also an employee, right, whatever, or working with them, like, that's sketchy. Like, no matter what, I did an interview the other day.
But you were saying you wanted a new crew. Like, asking for a new crew is essentially firing everybody. I mean, how is he supposed to take that when you're like, we need a new crew? That means taking all of the crew that's working on Frenemies and taking them off of Frenemies, which means, I mean, he could probably shift the crew onto like the regular podcast, but then he's paying for double the employees. She's had, I've heard clips. There are clips going around like of her, what's her old podcast? The Dish with Trish. She was talking about Dan really bad. I just watched a clip on that the other day. There are clips of her like shit talking the crew before she started working at Frenemies, which is interesting to me, which makes me believe that she does have a problem with the crew.
And the guy was like, he was definitely Team Ethan, I think, for the majority of it. But then he's like, that shit, like, even if that was true that I wanted to fire, like, going to your employees and saying Trisha wants you fired, that's some manipulation, that's some bullshit, that is just bad bossing, period. Like, but at the end of
I do agree with Trisha on that. I do not think that Ethan should have told the employees that Trisha wants to hire a whole new crew. I mean, as a boss, that's just something you don't say to your employees. I mean, like, for example, when I've been working from home for like a year and a half, and me and my coworkers that were working from home, we didn't want to go back to the office because everything's working good at home. We just didn't want to do it. And one thing that my boss said is like there was resentment in the office of the office employees that were working in the office. Like they resented the fact that we were working from home, the salespeople. And he told that to my coworker. And I'm like, why on earth would he say that? Because it's just going to make us mad, because we knew exactly who said it. And it just made us like mad at the people that were bitching about us working from home. It's like, as a boss, you just don't say that about other employees to each other. You get what I'm saying, you guys? It just creates a lot of resentment, and it's just unnecessary. As a boss, you should kind of keep that quiet if you're talking shit about each other, in my personal opinion. Yeah, office drama. Exactly. there's office drama in my office right now for that reason. Exactly.
The day, like they're not, it's not a professional production crew, right? It's not professional, like cameraman, it's not professional. It's cool. Like he hires fans, it works for them. Like, you know, he hires.
Exactly. It is the boss's job to handle things, not to add fuel to the flames. Exactly. And that's just something as a boss that you shouldn't be doing, because it just creates a bunch of tension that's unnecessary. So I do agree with her in that aspect, but there's just so much more negative with Trisha than Ethan. Yeah, he messed up here and there, but you know, Trisha's like way in the wrong on the situation. Yeah, Alabama, y'all. And Amy, some things are better left unsaid, for sure. For sure.
Like their girlfriends, and that works for them. Like, cool. Like, you know, cool. But then when you're like inciting the lies, like back and forth, like that's my issue. You know what I mean? And also that first reply video, just being like painting me to be this horrible person, bringing up the stuff that I, you know, that happened to me last year, like, or that I did to them last year. You know what I mean? That all was forgiven, right? He was totally cool to continue working with me for 6 months and praising me online, saying Trisha's my bestie. I love her. Like, I was so lucky to have her in the family. Like, yes, Moses and Trisha, your guys' relationship is killing it right now. But then to now throw it all in my face publicly, be like, don't forget she did this 6 months ago, but what you said was forgiven. And it's cool if they don't forgive me, but it's fake and hypocritical if they're doing that just for the money, or Ethan's doing that just for the money.
But Trisha, you hold things over people's heads all the time. All the time. You bring up past things of so many people that's what you do. That's what you do all the time. You stir up stuff. You bring things up from years ago and you hold it over people's heads. You can say you forgive somebody, but you actually don't, because you will continuously throw that back in their face. And Ethan is no different, because I think I've heard you bring stuff up back in his face. So, I mean, it's a two-way thing. It's just a hypocritical statement, because you do that all the time to everybody. Everybody. But when they do it to you, it's not okay, because you're the victim in every single situation. Like, you've made remarks about them not being able to get pregnant. You called Hila a bitch. You've said some really, really nasty, horrible things to both of them. Like, you've put down their parenting. That's just something that you don't do. You don't go after people for their parenting. You don't mention their kids. That's just something that you don't touch. It's gross. Just like when you brought Keemstar's daughter into the equation on that one episode. It's just something that she does. I've heard her do it a lot. She brings kids into the situation a lot, and it's fucked up to me, because it's not their. They're innocent. They're innocent. And if you're having problems getting pregnant, that is a very sensitive subject that you should not touch. And she did. She went there with Hila and Ethan in that one episode. I can't believe they even forgave her after that, because that was some nasty ass shit that she said.
Let me reiterate that. If he's just doing it for the money, a lot of people are like, well, he clearly was just like continuing the show for the money. Well, then it's fake and hypocritical. If I say I forgive someone, I forgive them, and I don't throw it back in their face 6 months later. You know,
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. No. She's a walking contradiction. Like, you can find clips of her contradicting herself like all over the internet. It's crazy. It's crazy. The thing about Trisha, she's really good at manipulation. She's very good at it. Because, like, before I actually dug into her, I did not know that she was like as problematic as she is. Like, she's beyond problematic. She's done like criminal things that I think are unforgivable. Like, domestic violence is just, there's no excuse for that. It's just something, you know, I think she should have faced charges for the things that she did with both Jason and Moses. It's just something that is terrible for a lot of people. And a lot of people go through that sort of thing all the time. And I don't think she's genuinely sorry for the things that she has done. That's the thing with her. I just don't think she is. But she's just a walking contradiction. She contradicts herself all the time. She holds things over people's heads. But she's very good at manipulation. She doesn't realize that people, the thing with, she thinks people will watch a video and believe her on it and not look at her past. And she's very good at manipulating her audience. Very good at it. And like the last 6 months are a prime example of that, because a lot of people were manipulated the past 6 months. They believed that she was actually making changes in her life, which she wasn't. She wasn't.
what I mean? I mean, Ethan's always back to punching down. He's always punched down. Obviously, the first video he did of me was the like, I literally never even mentioned him, and it was just like how she looks like a corpse and people look like Twinkies, and just coming for people about their plastic surgery when, like, he did about Nikita, but she was open about it. I've been open about it. Like, the side by side he used on my before and after was one that I had posted. So not denying, but he, you know, that's his tactic, right? It's like punching down on people. Like, I'm obviously hated online right now, which is, you know, it's honestly a lot of people, like a lot of people are being like, I hope you're doing, I mean, some people don't give a fuck, but
God,
so, like,
is she like talking really fast to you guys? Because like, it's almost like it's on 1.5 speed for me when it's not. Going 100 miles an hour.
And the thing is, I like am, because like, it's just, it was so blown out of proportion, and it's actually laughable to me. I mean, obviously the stuff with my sister, like, I thought was pretty low to like bring her up, because like, punch at me, like, you know, send hate my way, like, it's fine. I'm on the internet, I do that, people do that, like, I'm expect it, but like,
but you know, this video is sending a hate mob their way. That's the thing. And your other, what, like 6 videos to Ethan's 1 video, do you know how much of a hate mob that's sent his way? Even if they're like more hated right now than liked, Trisha's true fans are still gonna go at Ethan and Hila and whoever else. That's just what Trisha's fans do. They're very, I've never seen fans like Trisha's. I really haven't, because like the amount of excuses that I hear, there's so many excuses I've heard over the past 6 months of everything that I've said talking against Trisha. Even like the stuff with Moses that had happened with Moses, it's like, oh, they're past that. They're past that stuff. Why do you keep bringing it up? And it's like, you know what? When you're hit in a relationship, you don't get past it. Like, you really don't. Like, I'm speaking from experience. Like, I can remember the first time I was hit in my relationship, and, you know, I can say, I forgive you, but I don't get past it. It was so hard for me to get past it. And then it happened again. And then it happened again. You know, just because the internet doesn't know anymore doesn't mean it's not happening. Because if you can do it once, you can do it again. That's just how it goes.
I don't know, like, it just didn't sit right with me, because she had already apologized. She recognized that it was making the situation worse. So Now, if we're going to talk semantics on it, there's just so much I want to talk about.
She apologized. Did she just say her sister apologized? Is that what she said?
Because she had already apologized. She recognized that it was making the situation worse. So now if we're going to talk semantics on it, there's just so much I want.
Did her sister apologize for that TikTok? Does anybody know? Let me know in the comments if she apologized. I don't know if she has a Twitter or whatever. I remember she did apologize. Okay.
I want to talk about, because then I want to talk about the private text messages. Like, this is the thing. Like, Ethan is no better than me. Okay. Like, I think the thing is I keep admitting, like, I'm not a great person. I'm a shit person. I handle things shitty. But he can't admit, like, one fault. He'll say he misspoke, but mine are straight lies. Like, if I like don't remember something, or if I say something or whatever like that, then those are straight lies. But like, if he did something which was pretty detrimental to like the real end of Frenemies, which is that was Sam's thing, that was Sam's content, you shit on, and Ian's upset, and they need a few days. The crew needs a few days. When they went and go film the next day, it's like they really just sort of said, you shouldn't come tomorrow, not the crew needed days. So then when Dan went to Discord and said, that wasn't Sam's, I have no idea, Sam's idea, I don't know where Trisha got that from. And he goes, and also no one told her that the crew wasn't going to film. We were ready to film. That's when I showed the text messages. And let's just not, again, think that Ethan is so above and elite me, because he showed my text messages the following Wednesday to prove that I'm a liar, because I said I loved the movie. I was hyping him up. I was like, oh yeah, I love that movie. And then when we watched the movie the day before, I was just like, oh, I like didn't see this movie.
Oh my gosh. And now here come more lies. Trisha, the only reason he showed the private DMs is because you leaked private conversations on your Twitter. Like, really private conversations of you guys negotiating the money for Frenemies. Like, that's something that should have never been put online. That is so like personal. Like, to me, that's just something that you don't put online. And the thing with the costume, there are screenshots like side by side of this. She purposely edited out her replies on that Addams Family costume, where she said, I love that movie. Can I please be her? I love her. She purposely edited out the parts of the message where she sent that. That is so calculated to me before she put it on her social media. Like, what the fuck? Really? And now she's saying that she was just hyping it up because Ethan wanted to do it. Whatever. That's just bullshit. She was excited to do the characters, and you could tell in the messages that she was excited to do the characters. But she didn't remember liking them. The costumes didn't happen. Yeah, I know. That's just what she does all the time, and it's ridiculous. When she's caught in a lie, she'll do whatever she can to get out of it, including that ridiculous comment. I do think there are some areas where some of the things that Ethan said contradict what the crew said, which is kind of weird to me. But it still doesn't change the fact that, like, she walked out on the episode, like, she had her mind made up she was going to quit. It didn't matter. She was quitting. And maybe Ethan just didn't want to do the vlog that day, so he said the crew was upset. And maybe the crew was upset.
To me, that's not like a lot. It's just like him forgetting that it was his idea for the costume. Him saying, they're all your ideas. When I showed the text too, that they're his ideas. But again, none of this matters. And let's go, speaking of none of this matters, because it really is just not the point, and just so much deflection, and just going over this whole thing. Let's talk about the Disney thing, because everyone's like, well, she lied. Your sister lied. She really didn't lie. And I think okay. First and foremost, in a VIP trip, he's like, the VIP trip, you can include up to 10 people. That is true, but each person has to have their own ticket. So you still have to pay for each individual's tickets. Now, to clarify, this was a Disney trip. My mom has always taken me to Disney, but because I like to go VIP and stuff like that, like, they all pitched in. And
I remember that. Mimi's art. When she said she didn't like Hamilton, there's Hamilton videos all over her channel. Trisha is a pathological liar, you guys. It's so hard to take anything she says like as it being the truth. Like there are so many lies and clips that contradict stuff that she has said. It's crazy. I've never seen somebody straight up lie as much as I've seen Trisha lie. It's weird. And there are like, she talks about, there's like a video where she talks about like her high school, and there's a book of hers where she talks about like growing up and stuff like that. And Trisha actually would lie a lot in school to make people like her and stuff. And I just think that that's something that Trisha did a lot. And it's just something that they can't stop at this point. It's just constant lies. I really don't think that Trisha knows what's reality and what's not, because she tells so many lies. It's weird.
They really did. My sister makes money doing her own work that they discussed that I'm not going to like repeat on here. You know, my mom makes money. She, you know, she sells my stuff and everything like that. And so does Moses. So they all like chipped in for all of this, right? It was like a group thing. It was the VIP, it was the bus and all this stuff like that, plus the party, right? Moses took care of the party. So it was like this group thing, right? Now, like, obviously, once again, none of this really matters, right? Literally none of this matters, because Ethan's still like texting Moses, like, I'm going to pay you for it. Like, nobody wants to be paid. My sister did this TikTok. My sister misspoke. She inserted herself because she was trying to defend me and her in the situation that made us uncomfortable in the first place, which was the Disney trip, which is the Candlestick thing, talking about my SA to my mom, regardless if I talk about it on the podcast.
Okay. You know what? Okay. I think this is just something to hone in on and make Ethan, and they're trying to make Ethan look bad. I honestly think this family is a family that is very open about everything, especially because I've seen some of the TikToks her sister has done with her mom. I just think they're open about everything, including stuff with OnlyFans and stuff like that. They just seem like the type of family that are very open with what they do and everything else. So I do not think the Candlestick conversation made anybody uncomfortable at all when Ethan brought it up. That's just my opinion on it, but that's just how they seem. And I think they're just honing in on one thing to make Ethan look as bad as possible because he brought that up. And let's not forget the countless times where she brought up uncomfortable things in front of Ethan. He is a married man, and everything else, she has brought up very, very inappropriate stuff in front of his wife. She has brought up very inappropriate stuff on Frenemies that you can tell is making Ethan very, very uncomfortable, and everything else. And, you know, why does everybody look past that stuff? Because that stuff's not okay. You are literally, it's sexual harassment. That's what it is. So let's just not forget about all of that stuff, but let's just hone in on the one thing that Ethan did, and bringing up like the Candlestick thing. And weren't they laughing about that on Frenemies like shortly after they filmed that vlog? Am I like mistaken about that? Because I could have swore it was in the title that Ethan embarrassed himself in front of Trisha's mom or something. So, yeah.
If I make all the jokes about it, like, it's just so inappropriate to bring up to my mom and sister. Specifically, my sister really like had trouble dealing with that, like, because she's not as open about talking about my past. She's dated guys that have thrown me being that kind of worker in her face in the past, and she's just not as open. She doesn't, you know, it's just not a comfortable thing. It's not something we talk like openly about. It's not something I make jokes with my family about. Like, it really affected us, like, after that trip. Like, it really did. Like, I don't know how to explain it. And I think that was like the beginning of my thinking that maybe Frenemies wasn't for me. Again, I'm not blaming Ethan for any of that. Like, I'm just thinking like, okay, maybe this is, I thought that I could handle and like joke about this stuff. Like, I've always have. I mentioned it in David's vlog.
There is what I know you guys are saying that stuff, like, yeah, the pictures and stuff like that. Also, you guys, let's not forget I know I've seen screenshots of this because people send me stuff on Trisha all the time, but there was like an OnlyFans episode where she, like, you know, I can't really say it on YouTube, like, to her episode on the H3 podcast, you know what I'm talking about. And there's video on her channel of I think Keemstar and Ethan were fighting with each other or something, and she made a whole video. It was titled like "Who Am I Smashing?" And she like was going back and forth between Ethan and Keemstar, saying really, really gross stuff and everything else. There's just so much. There is so much. And for her to like, oh, this made us uncomfortable when they were laughing about it on the next episode of Frenemies. It's just this is what she does. She hones in on one thing. It's kind of like the Gabby Hanna stuff. Like the Gabby Hanna stuff, I know there's mixed feelings about the Gabby Hanna stuff, but like they had full-blown conversations that Trisha says never happened. And Gabby got like a few details wrong. I guess they never exchanged poetry. And there was a text message where Trisha said something about Thanksgiving, but it wasn't actually an invite. There were a few details that Gabby got wrong. And Trisha hones in on those two little details and tries to make everybody else forget about like the actual full-blown conversations that they had. That's her pattern. That is what she does. She hones in on something, and that's to try to make the other person look bad. When she's caught in lies, when she's done the same shit herself, that's just what she does.
Like, you know what I mean? But then I realized like some of this stuff is like really something I need to deal with. Like when we brought up the Robin Williams thing and I didn't want to talk about it, I was really like,
and don't get me started on this Robin Williams thing. She has a full video on her channel right after he died, right after, insinuating things about Robin Williams right after. It's messed up to me. And she did the same thing she did on Frenemies. Well, I knew Robin Williams, but I'm not going to get into details. But, you know, you just never, you can just tell what a person's going through. And she was just making like like teasing the littlest bit of information to make people's minds run wild. Literally right after that happened with Robin Williams, she uploaded a video on her channel. I don't believe her on that either, Stacey. I think it's a lie. And it's messed up if it is a lie. It really is messed up if it's a lie because she uploaded that video right after he had passed away. And her bringing it up on Frenemies, she's the one that brought it up. She is the one that brought it up. They were looking at like stuff of Flubber or something, which is a Robin Williams movie. And she dropped that little seed, which made Ethan question things. And then she, played like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Why you mention it if you don't want to talk about it? Why do you do that?
You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I get it. I've been making jokes about it and like whatever, but it was something that like I'm really not healed from. And I shouldn't be joking about it. And I shouldn't let, anyways, I already made a whole video about that besides the point. But yes, you do have to pay for individual tickets. Now, I was so happy that they came. How it all went was originally we were supposed to go for one of their family members' birthday in.
How did Disney tickets go to Robin Williams? I didn't even really notice that transition. Like she's talking about Disney tickets and then she transitions to putting that little jab in there about Ethan, about Robin Williams. Like, come on.
In June. And they're like, you should come with us. I was like, yes. Then Ethan texted me like, maybe not because, we want it to be all about this person's birthday, obviously. Yes, of course. So then he was like, we should go though and still do a vlog. And so I was like, oh, well, weird. Cause they were surprising me. I remember just being on the couch and be like, oh, weird. Like, I feel like they're surprising me, but they're not telling me because like, they kept telling me to like, oh, keep Thursday open, whatever. And then he kind of asked Moses and Moses was like, oh, because it was like a surprise, whatever. And then whatever. I was so happy. I would pay for everybody. And now as far as like the birthday dinner goes, like the begging thing, like it's just so crazy that this is what it's come to. Like, I don't even know. But like, I really do have to say this because I feel like I have to defend my sister because like, well, she lied. He begged to pay. Now,
oh my God.
Like, it wasn't a beg to pay situation. It also didn't matter. I paid for my own birthday dinner. It is fine. I paid for my own birthday dinners for so many.
Night color with Canvas. Thanks for watching.
Years. Like, I don't expect anyone to pay for anything, including the Disneyland trip. I kept saying to my family, I kept saying to Moses, like, let me pay for it. Like,
I cannot even understand what she is fucking saying. She is going like 100 miles an hour, you guys.
you know, I feel guilty having anyone pay for anything. Like, so when we did all the food segments, like we paid, and I do think I believe that Ethan paid for
oh my gosh.
maybe he paid for one of I think he paid for one of the meals. Like, I have to really think about it, but which is overly nice. Like I like, to me, like, this kind of stuff is like just so silly. But like, as far as begging to pay for dinner, like we did go out to like dinner or whatever like that, and it wasn't a begging to pay situation. It was just, he's like, I'll pay, and the sister's like, I'll pay, and he's like,
Oh
I'll split it
my
with you, and I was like, no,
gosh.
because I don't like, to me, whatever you say, whatever, I hate the splitting thing. So the
She,
bill comes, whatever. Like, no,
Madison, she's about to get a speeding ticket. I can't even understand what she's saying. She's going from like a dinner to Disneyland. Oh my God. No, this is normal speed, Tracy. Like normal speed. Not kidding. Not kidding. Hey, Mike and Actor, how are you? Oh my God.
you know, so I'm the first. You could ask anyone to take out, I'm the first. I'm like, here's my card. But I was like, you know, and then so I asked Moses to hand over the bag. I paid for it. Whatever. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a fight, you know, and honestly, like, what were they supposed to do? Fight for it? Like a lot of people do. Like, that's just what people do, whatever. But it's just not the point. But the fact that they took that, right? Something that deleted.
I think
never even spoke on it.
I think the volume is all the way up. It's all the way up. Yes, she's speaking really fast, Mike. It's crazy. I think it got faster as the video went on. I don't know how to, I wish I could turn it up more, but it's literally all the way up, you guys.
Still, like, I still don't care. The only reason I'm speaking on it is to like say it wasn't like lies, right? Like, he didn't offer my sister money. I guess he offered Moses money, but again, none of this is like really relevant to the whole thing, because they obviously have money. They pay for stuff. I pay for stuff, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I never was like, pay me for that. You know what? I don't know. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, even like the costumes and stuff, I don't, he like offered to pay the first time for like all the costumes that I've had made for us, you know, for our couples costumes on the show. And like, of course, the first time I'm like, no, you know, like, it's fine. Like, I don't care, you know, like, I don't care about that stuff. I really don't. Like, the fact that this is like becoming a thing, I don't know. And like the 5% thing just being a joke and like mocking it. It's like, people being like, wow, you know, because people now are like, wow, the 5%, like, I guess that paid for all 3 of your weddings. It's just like, it's just so, it's really annoying. And the Disneyland thing is the most annoying thing. And it's just so nitpicky. And it just takes away from the whole thing of like what the issue is.
What did she just say?
And I just think it was.
Hang on. Did she say the Disneyland thing is so nitpicky? Hold on.
And I just think it was low. And it's the same thing as like, the punching down thing is something that I've just seen recently, right? We started Frenemies at the beginning of quarantine. Nobody was there except, once again, me, Dan, and Ethan. Now, as far as me and Dan, like, obviously Dan had made it clear from the beginning, he didn't want me on the first H3 podcast. This is years ago, right?
Maybe I didn't rewind it.
Wasn't a fan of mine. Didn't want me on the show, whatever. Okay, that's my first introduction to Dan. And obviously, I don't remember again. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut this. It's so annoying.
Okay, there's something going on with her, man. Do you see how she keeps itching her face? Like, and the speed. I mean, Trisha talks fast a lot, but she don't talk this fast. And how she keeps itching her face the way she is. It's like getting worse as the video goes on. It's very odd. She keeps messing with her hood. She keeps messing with her face.
And so obviously, like, I mean, I don't think I've ever made it like, you know, I always was like, oh, the H3 crew, whatever. Like, you know, so that was before. But then as I like got to know them and started doing stuff with them and stuff, like, obviously I wasn't like fire Dan or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, Dan, I was like inviting to my wedding, you know, so it doesn't like make sense. But it was me, Dan, Ethan, and, you know, Dan has always like hyped me up, always been nice to me, like, since we started Frenemies. Like, it's a different thing. So again, bringing up the past doesn't make any sense, because we didn't know each other. It was a long time ago. It was before Frenemies started. So it was just us 3. And then like I noticed, like, as we started doing,
but you're the type of person that, like, if you have a problem with somebody, you're going to hold on to that issue, especially if they do something that makes you mad. or if they get on your nerves that day or whatever, like you're just going to hold on to the past. That's just how Trisha is. Like she's just going to hold on to that. So if she's had problems with Dan in the past, I have no doubt that during the filming of Frenemies, they have disagreed on things, and she has probably said things behind the scenes, behind his back, everything else, because that's what Trisha does. Like she talks about everybody. She talks shit about everybody.
Like being outside and like the real world and vlogging, like first and foremost, like I even said it on the Disney vlog, like I am not a vlogger. I don't feel like super comfortable vlogging. Like, and it's not like I'm like, again, blaming Ethan for it.
Then why did you agree to vlogs? Then why didn't you just tell Ethan after the first vlog, like, I don't want to, you vlog all the time. What are you talking? Wait a minute. Hold on. She just said she don't like to vlog. She vlogs all the time. I just now realized she does mukbangs and vlogs all the time. I mean, that's what she does. So what are you talking about?
I participated in it,
but if you didn't want to do vlogs on Frenemies, then why didn't you just tell him that? Like, have a conversation. Why do you have to quit everything you do or drop every single friend? Like, anybody that gets close to her, like, she's done with them within a few years. It's weird.
In general, I just don't vlog anymore. I feel like I'm disrupting people when I'm vlogging. I feel like I'm annoying and obnoxious, and I don't know. I just am like, that's just so not my thing anymore. Whatever. So then the second vlog we did was the bus thing, right? The bus tour thing. And that's when I was just like, okay, so like they left it in. So again, not really having this what do you call? I guess sense or whatever of like having, I gotta wrap this up. This is so freaking long. I don't know that thing. Of like not knowing what's like not right to put in. Like I was shocked that they left the homeless part in, like of him just like them filming like homeless tents in LA.
Oh, whoa. Trisha, you literally have TikToks a couple months back of you filming homeless tents and talking shit about homeless people. I've seen those TikToks. Like, what are you talking about? Like, stop. You're so hypocritical. Just stop.
And, you know, I've been guilty of it too, being like,
oh, yeah, Trina, this is considered a vlog. Yeah, it's considered a vlog. I mean, especially when she's out and, when she's out going to drive-thrus, getting food, like, I consider that vlogging too. I mean, if she goes to Target and, like, films something in Target, that's vlogging. This is all vlogging. So what the fuck is she talking about? I mean,
there's like so much homeless and stuff like that. It's shocking. It is shocking, but it's like not funny. It's not something cute to.
Okay, I gotta find something real quick because that's so funny because she literally has said that. I'm gonna keep this playing, but I'm gonna find that clip of her talking about the homeless people in LA.
Put in a vlog. So that was like the first thing. I was like, okay. The second thing in that, which I don't think made the vlog, was we went by this like lunch truck and it was like construction workers and him just like on his microphone like being like, why are you eating there? And it's like, okay, it's construction workers working at the Beverly Hills thing. And then the final thing was that girl on the street, like
she was going so fast,
people were like giving him like thumbs up, but this girl was like, this is all you have better to do is just like heckle me. And he's like, oh, just heckle me. Like the fact that it was like left in there, and then I was just thinking like, okay, maybe that's the sense of humor or whatever. And I was like, this is not the sense of humor or the type of comedy I want to participate in it, where we're just like screaming outside of people's homes, you know what I mean? Like, and I get people think it's funny, and I know he's gonna be like, what are you, the comedy police? And it's like, I'm not the comedy police. I'm just saying, for me personally, that was like a time where I was just like, maybe.
I want to show you guys something real fast because it's just so funny. She is saying this because, hold on, it's just so funny. She's so hypocritical in the things that she talks about. It's weird. And there's usually footage everywhere of her saying things. Okay. Literally talking about the whole homeless thing. Listen to what she says here.
Advice for anyone who wants to move to LA. Never, I repeat, never, ever think about moving to Hollywood. I moved to Hollywood and Highland thinking it was like Hollywood and Highland. Like, hello, we want to live here. You do not want to live here. It's like the Times Square. It's like anything. It's like very touristy and awful, but also it's It's disgusting and it's gotten worse. Let me show you. Like, whoa, those are all homeless tents. What? I got mugged twice when I worked at Hollywood and Highland Mall, and I walked.
So what did you just do there, Trisha? Same exact thing. Same exact thing. So hypocritical. That's what she does. Usually when when Trisha calls people out on stuff, there's usually footage of them doing the exact same thing. I'm not kidding. If you can't hear the audio, let me know. I think I pushed it, but let me know.
This isn't like we don't have that same sense of humor where like Frenemies worked, right? Because we're on this podcast, we have two different like things, whatever, and everyone's saying like it's so weird that a show about being enemies ended when it's like literally in the title, and I totally agree. Whatever. He's like, the final straw was like her posting the private text messages when he did the exact same thing that next day, and he read my text messages with Moses on episode 1, and I was just like, we both said like,
but you told him it was okay. Like, he even asked if it was okay that he read those text messages, and you literally said it was fine to read them. Don't tell somebody it's okay to read them if you don't want them to read them, and then hold it over their head when you're mad at them, because that's what you do all the time. Literally all the time.
No, that wasn't public. Ethan still like thinks that was already made public. It definitely wasn't. It was things that were like, don't put in there. Anyways, again, in the past. But I was like, okay, so that was the straw that broke the camel's back, was the text message.
But then why didn't you just ask, like, that's all pre-filmed. Why didn't you ask him to cut that out? Like, if you didn't want that public, why didn't you ask him to cut that out? I think he even said in that episode, do you want me to cut this out? And you're like, no. Maybe I'm wrong. But I know that specific episode. It was like the first episode of Frenemies. And he was reading like DM conversations. And I think that's when the whole her, hitting Moses's arm came up. Hey, Chanel, how are you? Hey, everybody else coming in. Hey, Coffee and Chats. How's everybody doing? We're not even we're a little over halfway through this video. That's crazy.
You also showed my text messages. Okay. Regardless of all of it, like I do feel a sense of relief. I am someone who doesn't obviously I quit, but I come back, right? Like that's just like my thing, whatever. And I don't expect anyone to be like, oh, well, if you say you quit, then of course. But like that following day after the video was made, he did text me like, I'm screwed with all this merch. Like, I don't know what to do with it. And I was like, I'm happy to help promote it. Like, you don't have to give me any money. Like I said from the beginning.
I mean, it is pretty shitty to end a show before the merch launch. I mean, literally it's a month before the merch launch. I think the merch is supposed to come out in July. So the fact that she ended the show before they even had a chance to promote the merch, before they even had a chance to sell the merch, it's pretty crazy because can you imagine how much money is in that? I think he said there was like 4,000 sweatshirts. Damn, that's a lot. And then you add in like the socks that they were going to launch and the hats, the little beanie hats or whatever. I mean, that's a lot of product for a show that doesn't exist anymore. I'm sure it's going to sell out. I'm sure it's going to sell out when it launches. I'm sure people are still going to want it just for like the memory of the actual show. But it's very, very messed up to leave somebody high and dry like that before they even have a chance to launch it. And it's in production. It's all right. It's going to be ready to go. It's not like you can just pull that out of production. And the design time that Hila put into it and everything else, it's just really fucked up to me to just leave somebody high and dry like that.
I was surprised they were going to give me any cut of that merch at all. It wasn't ever in our deal. It wasn't our thing. I was excited to, have branded merch. I love merch.
And he was going to give you half of the profits. half of the profits, and you put no input into the merch. You didn't invest in the merch. You didn't design the merch. And he was going to give you half of the profits. That is a hell of a deal. It's the same thing with the show. He took 5% for the show, but all you had to do is show up for 2 to 3 hours, however long it takes you guys to film. So I don't really understand why this is about money at all. Like a person like her, she is so rich. She spends money like she's Kylie Jenner or something. Like she really does. She's like blows her money all the time. And I really don't understand where the money is actually coming from, because like to have 3 weddings, buy a 4 however million dollar house, plus like all the money that she spends on like bags and clothes and cars and all of that stuff. It's weird where all the money's coming from. I know she makes good money on OnlyFans, but like I think they're on Ryland's podcast, she even said that she wasn't making the money that she used to on OnlyFans because of Moses. So it blows my mind that she spends money like she does, and she's bitching about something that's so minor when she has such a good deal on Frenemies. It's like, I really wish I had your problems. If that was if that's genuinely your problems, I wish I had your problems. Seriously. People are trying to figure out how to pay their rent, and you're bitching about 5% of thousands of dollars that you're already getting. Come on, for showing up for 2 hours. That's a dream job for people. Once a week, a few hours, thousands of dollars a month.
I buy merch. You can buy my merch. I'm waiting on the vibe. Like I was excited, and I said, I'll still promote it, and you don't have to, pay me anything. Although now it comes out that he said all the Frenemies money went into the merch, which that was news to me. Like, that was, so technically then you really didn't lose anything, because that was also like, what people don't understand is like the Frenemies highlights is also like, I attribute to that, like Trisha being Trisha in the title, like that is also the money that he's like, we will put towards production costs. So now he's saying he's putting it to the production of merch.
No, like, again, the highlight. Who's editing the highlights? Who's uploading the highlights? Whose channel is the highlights on? Who's making the thumbnails? Are you doing it, Trisha? Like, is that something that you're doing? Because if you're doing all of that, yeah, maybe you should get a cut of the highlights. But just stop. You're not. What is he supposed to do? Take his own like 50% and cut the 50% and do his employees and production costs from his own 50% of the show? Like, she thinks she's supposed to get half of everything. And that's really messed up to me, because like, I can't even imagine the amount of like planning and editing and everything else it takes to put into a show like that. Arranging sponsors, writing the scripts for each sponsor when you do like the sponsor segment of the episode. Like, all of that is like being written for them. Like, it takes me a lot of time to edit videos by myself. Like, I can't imagine like having this whole production thing like H3 does. Yeah, exactly. She's just an employee. She gets half of the episode pretty much to show up, and that's it. And she's always had a problem not getting those highlights from the beginning. I remember her complaining about it in the beginning of Frenemies, that she didn't get the highlights. She would have made a lot of money on that merchandise if she would have just stuck it out. It's just weird to me.
So I guess in that case, I don't feel as bad, because I'm like, okay, but I still hope people buy the merch. I still hope he makes money off of it, whatever. Like, I'm not trying to put, any bad oho out there. Is that the word? I don't know. Because at the end of the day, like, right, like, it's fine. Like, he if it's done, it's done. Like, I'm not trying to beat like this like dead horse, right? But like, if you're gonna keep titling things frenemies, then I'll just go ahead and do it too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, give me those views, give me that AdSense too. You know what I mean? That like in this case, if this is what it is, it's money and it's drama, and you're making like jokes about it where you're totally comfortable with it, as is your crew, obviously not offended by it or upset by any of it. Then hey, neither am I. I mean, I'm, as people keep pointing out, I'm the borderline over here. I'm the one that's up and down. I'm the schizophrenic. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I do let things go. Like, I'm up and down. I have highs and lows, and like it's kind of whatever. And I don't know. Like I said, I think the thing with my sister, just like it really hurt because she is affected by it. Like, she did get off. She is off the internet like for a while on it. You know what I mean? She's, you know, she was affected by it, and you know, I obviously told her she wanted to fight back. My sister is very feisty, and you know, I was just like, just, you know, it's just that thing is just not a big deal. But the fact that they like clickbaited that and then made that the segment, I was like, wow, okay, like there is a lot of other things you could like say about me or to me, but the fact of the matter is, like, honestly, it's not cool. Like, him seeing Moses, that like I tried to ruin his life last year, like trying to bring up stuff again from our past that we worked through. And the internet is obviously all hate towards our way, including Moses. Like, you know, they could say don't incite hate towards Moses, don't send hate towards Moses. Like, he's in the middle of this, like, it's out there. And no matter what you say, by even, you know, it's out.
You did this to yourself, though. Like, I mean, you did this to yourself. None of this would happen if you would have never uploaded that video. Like, that's what you do. You have conversations with people through text message, and then you like act on impulse and you upload videos. I mean, we've seen this so many times. I mean, even like when her and Jason were together, I think David pissed her off in some way and she uploaded a video off of impulse. She does it with everybody, every relationship. She did it to Shane. She did it to Ethan. I mean, she does it to everybody. She sabotages these relationships herself because they don't agree with her on something. That's ultimately what it is. You tell her no or go against her, she will go against you and she will burn the entire relationship down. That's just what I've seen with everything. I get why she says she has no friends, because like I don't understand how anybody could be in a one-sided relationship like this. Like, I couldn't imagine being her friend, because you would have to cater to her every need. You would have to agree with them on everything. You couldn't have a disagreement with them. I would be afraid to, because that's what Trisha does. She turns around and she backstabs you the moment you disagree with her or do something that she wants you to do and you don't do it. That's how she is with everybody.
There, oh, you know, why doesn't he do this? Why didn't he do this? When no one really knows the details of like his relationships with people and any of that stuff like that. It just it does suck. It does suck that he's in the middle of it. And he's always been like, I can say something, like, should I say? And I'm just like, no, because it's just not about him. Or, you know, my sister obviously shouldn't have gotten it. I'm not denying that. Like, she obviously shouldn't have made that TikTok. You know what I mean? She deleted it. She knows that. And like, as far as I'm concerned, it's not really about anyone else too. It's about me and Ethan. And Ethan misspoke about a very big thing. He put blame on specific people. Sam and the crew doesn't want to film with you. Like, that's a very specific thing. And and then he went and said that I wanted them all fired. That's very gross. That's what this is all about to me. And I was just like, wow, that's some pretty effed up shit, right? And maybe he wanted this downfall. Maybe he wanted it to end. I'm not really sure, right? Because the only way he put out the episode thinking that like everything, like obviously knowing that I was going to get like hate and stuff like that. Because in my head, I'm still like, oh, it was like fine, because I really didn't think I was being, you know, obviously what I said was rude, but it wasn't like I was trying to attack the person. I was just like, okay, put it out there. But like, if he really thought this was so awful, what I did in that episode, like, why even put it out? So obviously maybe wanted this downfall, maybe wanted a rift between me and the crew. I'm not really sure, to show some sort of power. I remember when he told AB to do the video about David Dobrik, to kind of play devil's advocate and be like on David Dobrik's defense team during all this, like after he had like when Seth was on the podcast and stuff like that, and after I came out.
But that was really messed up what you did to AB. Like, I always found that situation really messed up. to put an employee on blast like that. And then Trisha did that video against him. Like AB ended up getting threats and everything else. Like he looked legitimately like messed up from the entire situation. Like I always felt bad for AB in that situation because he was the unpopular opinion, and Trisha uploaded that video and literally attacked him. That's what literally set her off with that episode. So I always felt bad for AB in that situation because he was getting massively hated on.
My stories.
But nobody stuck up for AB, and I didn't understand why nobody stuck up for him because, like, you know, it was before everything came out about David. I know they were talking about the Seth situation a little bit, but like he had a different opinion. That's all it was. He had a different opinion, and she uploaded a video attacking someone that works for the H3 podcast. It was always really weird to me the way that whole thing went down. And he looked genuinely bothered. Like he even said he called his mother and everything else because he was getting hated on so massively.
And then AB got all that hate. And then he turned it around and was like, well, AB, I hope you learned your lesson. Like I basically like chastised AB, even though he asked him to do it. And now ever since, AB has been super quiet. So maybe it was like a power thing or a thing to make me like more like quiet or something. I'm not really sure, or to be more obedient. Like, right, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, come back. And that's what everyone's just like, apologize, Ethan, apologize. It's like, I have no apologies to say to him. I do apologize to the staff once again, because like being disrespectful is being disrespectful. And like,
has AB is an employee of H3 Productions. He talks on like the H3 podcast a lot. But he's the employee that was on one of the After Dark episodes, and Ethan was asking him questions about the David Dobrik situation before like all the other stuff came out about David. It was like really fresh in the Seth situation, the kissing prank. And they put him on blast on that episode, and he had a different opinion. Like, I guess he liked David. He was like a fan of the Vlog Squad. And when AB gave his opinion on the situation, Trisha uploaded like a 35-minute video, like trashing AB, and AB got like massively hated for it. He had to he just looked really bothered by the entire situation. And I just never liked how it went down because he was like an employee of the podcast.
Like I'm again, I didn't want them fired, but like,
yeah, plain view. Yeah, he didn't side with, he didn't side with her about Seth and the whole essay thing. Yeah.
Absolutely, they have every right to feel disrespected, and I apologize for that. But just know that it's a lie when I said I didn't want to come back to work, that I wanted to
exactly laugh through life. He got attacked for giving his opinion. It was crazy to me how the whole thing went down and how nobody was standing up for AB in that situation, because like he's not like a massive public figure or anything. He's an employee of the H3 podcast. So I just didn't like how that situation went down at all.
Everyone fired. Like, asking for in addition to is not firing a crew. There was never a Frenemies crew to fire. They've always had a job. They always had a full-time job. You know, they continue to, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, so I do apologize to them. I will continue to apologize to Hila for what I said to her, you know, back last year. Like, it's disgusting. I have no idea how you were able to forgive me and let me in.
Yeah, and it was before Seth spoke up. Mimi's art. Yep. Seth hadn't even talked about it yet, which is crazy.
Into your home and around your family. Like, I appreciate you. I love you. And I love your family. And I'm so honored to be a part of it. And I think that ruining our family thing was like what Ethan said was like, that one hurt a lot. That one definitely hurt the most, because I'm really just, it's not even doing my best. It's like I'm leaving them out of that because it really doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. So I do apologize to her. Obviously, I apologize to Moses. I feel horrible, you know, for Moses. Obviously, he's with me and loves me and all stuff like that. But like all this stuff is not something he signed up for.
And there's no calming you down from it. Like, if he genuinely asked you to stop it, I highly doubt you would stop it. Like you're making the situation 1,000 times worse than it needed to be. Like you started this whole thing. Like I've only heard Ethan talk about it in one full video, which is the video in response to your 2 videos that you posted. Because you posted you were quitting, and then you posted another video, and he responded, and then you posted 3 videos to his response, which is crazy. Called him like so many names, put him down again when he was literally, giving you compliments in that episode, in the video. He was trying to be as respectful as possible while telling his side of the story. And I think he put out one tweet, and then you went crazy on Twitter. Tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet. Absolutely insane. And that was before Ethan's video. All those tweets. Because that's what sparked. Because she leaked the DMs. So you created this. You are making so much tension in a family that you're supposed to be marrying into. Why would you do that to your fiance? I just don't understand how somebody could do this to her fiance. Like, take Ethan out of the equation. How can you do this to somebody that you're getting ready to marry? Create all this tension in your fiance's family. How can you do that? Wouldn't you want it to like end on civil terms? Like, look, hey, this podcast isn't working out for me. So let's come to an agreement. Maybe I'll do 6 months more worth of episodes, and then we'll end the show. You can sell the merch, like a very civil solution so that there isn't all this tension. But oh no, we're talking about Trisha Paytas here. We got to ruin everything. Burn every bridge.
But yeah, I mean, if this is the back and forth we're going to do, I mean, I'm just down to do it at this point. At first I was like, let it go, Trish. Then you'll look like the bigger person. But when have I ever been the bigger person? Not today, not now. They're monetizing it. I'm monetizing it, whatever. Let's go. Let's just keep going back and forth. And I guess, I don't know. At this point, like, it really does seem like we just like.
Trish, you monetize everything. You monetize everything. Every apology I've seen from you, it's been monetized. Every time you have offended communities, every time you have trolled, everything's been monetized. Everything's been monetized. I think the video you put out a couple weeks ago was the first video I've ever seen you demonetized on purpose. But you had to make it known that you were demonetizing it on purpose. Because so everybody can clap you. Give you a good old clap, like give you some credit there. It's bullshit. Pat on the back for Trisha for not turning on monetization on her thousands of videos. 1 out of 1,000 videos.
We didn't understand the assignment. Like, we just like lost the plot. I don't know how to use Gen Z things. And yeah, I don't know. Everyone's like, we're tired of hearing about this. And everyone's like, why aren't you responding? And so this is my response. I was doing TikToks. I was like, whatever, I don't want to call a video about it. But I was just like, okay.
The one person probably saying, why aren't you responding? Because every time I look at your comment section, it's like, get off the internet. Get off the internet. If she was really sorry for everything that she has done, like if she wanted to take proper accountability, because she's done some really fucked up things that she's never taken full accountability for. She lies about it in the present time. And I've never seen her genuinely make an apology for all the nasty shit she has done and like take a break and reflect on it and get some help. Because Trisha Paytas is one person that needs help, because there's something not right to behave this way. I've never seen anybody behave this way online. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Exactly, Madison. She responds to everything. Everything.
I saw that they did like the whole clickbait and the 1.5 million. I'm like, oh, it's 1.5 million, whatever. hope that clarified things. I don't know.
No, it
I
didn't.
just bottom line, like I really like of all the things that I started feeling like kind of icky about towards Ethan, and he probably feels icky about a lot of things towards me, which is fine. But I was just like, this punching down thing is just like, it's just not cute. It's like not cute at all. Like I don't know. I can't
Then why
imagine
don't you
like
stop
just going
then why don't you stop doing it to people? Because you punch down people all the time.
after. I don't know. I think I probably used to do that, but like there's so many channels that like actually like
See you later, Winter Rose. Thanks for watching.
hate me. But like again, or going for someone with like a lesser fan base, or going for, you know what I mean? Like it's just I don't know. To me, it's just like I see so many hate TikToks. What am I supposed to respond to like every single one? There's so many like untruths, and I'm just gonna like respond to that. It's just, you know what I mean?
No.
I don't know. That just, I think, was just so crazy, and he missed the point entirely. And their logic of Ethan already addressed it on the podcast, and he apologized, so it should all be forgotten. It should apply to me as well. If that's the logic we're going, and that's the reality we're living in, then it should also apply to me. Stuff that I've apologized and addressed on the podcast should all be forgiven and forgotten. But it doesn't apply to me. It only applies to Ethan, right? Ethan can throw stuff in my face, but if he's apologized, then it's not even throwing it in my face. It's something that I like thought was okay, and now I'm just thinking like I'm like realizing to myself, I was just like, oh. So, and then so all this bullshit of like, oh my gosh, she accused me of SH or her, whatever, not SA, but SH. It's different. And I'm like, that's not it at all. Like, I'm just finally like coming to terms with like, okay, I shouldn't be okay with these kind of jokes, right? And I said, and I keep saying it, like, I'm not putting Ethan at blame. I'm like literally realizing this for myself, that I can't handle it. I can't handle talking.
You made a whole video about how he was making you uncomfortable with stuff that he was saying, like in a, SE, way. How is he supposed to take that? I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand her at all.
About it. And it really does affect me. And I realize, especially at the scale that Frenemies was becoming, like it is getting
serious topics. I'm turning off monetization, and I'm making this all about something that it never was. I don't know what that video was about. I don't know why she thought that was a good idea, but it's so hypocritical.
My family is going to like find out stuff where it was so casual for me to talk about it before, because it felt like I had power and I had control over it if I was talking about it. But now it's like my family is finding about stuff that I'm actually not ready to handle and talk about, which is like crazy, because I really thought like all that in the past. I talk about it sometimes in the mindset of that didn't happen to me. That's just like a story I tell, when in reality it did, and I have to like come to terms with that, right? So all that to say,
oh my gosh,
like I was honestly ready to let it go. I didn't want more, whatever back and forth. But this is the narrative. This is gonna be like the real reason for me and this, and I was like, oh, I'll play it too. Like, if that's what we're doing. I mean, it is sad, and it's like whatever. But I mean, if this is the MO and this is like same old Trish, like I guess then same old Trish. I don't know. Truly though, if I'm being sincere about it, right? I'm not trying to troll or anything. Like I am so sad about it, right? Like when have I ever like not gone back to Frenemies, right? Like
when have I ever not gone back to Frenemies? She's literally quit the show 3 times. 3 strikes, you're out, man. 3 strikes, you're out. When have I ever not gone back to Frenemies? I honestly, you know what I think this was? I think she was, I think she did that. I think she did that video out of impulse. And I really thought that she thought that Ethan was going to be like, okay, we'll give you the extra 5% and I'll still take the high. I think she thought Ethan was going to come back to her with giving her a better deal and giving into her demands. It's almost like a blackmail thing. But then when it just pissed him off, I mean, the bridge is burned, man. It's never gonna, I would hope that he wouldn't take her back on the show. Because if he does, it's just, if he does take her back, it's all about money then. Because I don't know how anybody can forgive this. I really don't. there's just been too much that has been said, too much personal stuff that's been said. Hey, Mary, how are you? I haven't seen you forever. But there's just been so much. So I hope Ethan never forgives her. I really do. No more frenemies. Because it's going to happen again. It's a never-ending cycle with her.
The only reason I did put those text messages because like I did the video and I felt I was being responsible for the crew and just being I'm gonna take myself out of the situation, and at least I thought maybe temporarily and get back to it, whatever. Obviously, and that's a dead and gone concept, but I did put out those text messages because I'm like, once I saw Dan being like, that wasn't Sam's idea. Where did she even get that? That's when I was like, okay, I don't like people like controlling the reality that just happened hours before, because I do have schizophrenia and that does include memory loss and delusions and stuff, and I'm on medication for it. I was like, no, I'm not.
Is there ever a video where she doesn't bring up her mental health? Because like that's all I hear in every video I watch of hers. When like she is under heat about something, she always brings up her mental health. Always. I've never seen somebody talk about their mental health this much. We get it. Like you have, what is it? Borderline personality disorder. And I guess you have schizophrenia. We hear about it all the time. Why do you have to keep bringing it up over and over again? It's not an excuse for your shitty behavior. There's people that live with mental illness all the time and they don't behave the way that you do. Like, fuck. Most people have mental health issues. I have mental health issues. I struggle with depression, but I don't behave like you. People with schizophrenia can live normal lives and not behave like you. Borderline personality disorder. Nobody behaves like this. This is not normal. I've never seen somebody behave this way online. It's like Trisha can't pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, let's talk. Her solution is to turn on a camera and talk about it and upload it and burn every bridge that she has.
I'm not gonna let someone like dictate reality for me, because I do get it confused a lot, and you know that's something I'm dealing with and whatever. But like I was like, okay, that's why I try and like look and everything. And then when I saw like literally hours before him saying it was Sam's idea, and then Dan saying like it wasn't Sam's idea, I have no idea where she got it from. I'm like, okay, put these together. Like they're in the course of a 2-hour time span. Same thing with like we were like the crew needs a few days and then Dan being like we were down to film and they did film the next day. It's like, do you know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, that's not okay. There's no talking to Ethan at this point because he's manipulating, he's lying, he's straight up lying.
Darcy, the thing with Trisha, it's hard to believe anything that she says because she lies a lot. Like, I don't know if she has schizophrenia. I don't. There was an episode where they were talking about her having schizophrenia and she started bringing up like the demon voices. Like it came out of left field. She started talking about it. Ethan said, I don't think you have schizophrenia. And she responded back, like, I think I'm just really early on. And he was like, I don't want to, I'm not trying to make you feel a certain way, but I don't think you have it. And then she said that she had went to the doctor or something like that. And then she went from saying that she thought she had it to, I don't think I have it, but I'm hearing voices. And then I don't know. There's like a whole timeline of it where she's contradicting herself with that as well. I don't know. I don't know if she hears voices. I don't know. It's just hard to take anything she says seriously. Because recently, like 3 months ago, she flat out said that she's never been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder either. That she self-diagnosed herself online. So she contradicts herself all the time with like what she says. So it's hard to take anything she says seriously. Especially, she just brings it up all the time. All the time. And I've just never seen somebody bring up their diagnosis all the time in like multiple videos constantly. Yeah, I just think she's a pathological liar. I mean, she may have, I think there's no doubt she has some type of mental health issues. I just don't know. It's just so hard to believe her on anything. Like everything she says, like I just take with a grain of salt because she lies so much.
Spoke lying.
It's like what's that little story, like the boy who cried wolf. She cried wolf way too many times. Way too many times.
It's a big thing to misspeak on someone's name, right? Like you're throwing other people now under the bus for it. Like it's a pretty big thing to misspeak on. So if that was the final straw, then okay, so be it. But I am sad about ending. Like I literally was just like, hey, you've read my text messages. You're obviously lying in this situation. Here it is. I incriminated myself. Obviously, the text messages also made me look shitty. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was thinking like I'm going to dunk on Ethan. It was just like, no, this is what I said. And I didn't edit out like what I said in it, which
I just don't like. The thing that I don't understand, like as much as she talks about it and talks about her struggles of it and everything else, and she makes a mockery of it too. Like it's like just seeing some of her TikToks about it, like it's an insult to people that really deal with like these type of mental health issues or have trouble even like having a social life because they may have problems with their mental health. And it's like she makes jokes about it all the time. And I just don't get, like, as much as she has talked about it and the things that I've heard about it, it's like, how are you even functioning online? Like, how are you a functioning person with the amount of stuff that you have talked about, the amount of stuff that you said you've gone through, just everything that she says, the stories that she tells, mixed in with everything with her mental health. Like, I don't even understand how she can live her life online like she does. Because I know I would have trouble probably getting out of bed some days if I were her. So I don't know. It's hard to take anything she says seriously. It's just so hard to believe her on a lot of things.
You know, got me hate, and rightfully so, and I apologized for that. But it is sad. Like it is sad. Like I did.
And the whole DID thing, like I've seen that video, like the video where she's trying to act like she's switching the DID, what's it called? Just I don't know what the full name is for it, but where she like was trying to prove to the internet that she had DID and she caught a switch on camera. Like that just absolutely fucking disgusts me that somebody would actually do something like that. It's disgusting.
Interview this week for this, like I don't know, it's not out yet, but I did an interview, and like I said, he was pretty pro Ethan, and
yes, dissociative identity disorder, exactly. Yeah, that video that she did on that was absolutely disgusting. It's just I don't understand how people believe her on the stuff that she says. I really don't. And nobody really took her seriously until about 6 months ago on a lot of this stuff.
And that's totally fine and whatever, like that. I don't even know where my thought was. Oh, but he was just sad. He was ultimately sad Frenemies was ending, right? He's like, let me mediate and like bring Frenemies back. And so I think that is the saddest part. He's like, that was a great job. And everyone keeps saying it. And it is, you know what I mean? But if he's banking on like pushing me and getting reactions, and that's fine. And some people called it exploitative. I think it was D'Angelo Wallace. He's like, he's exploiting it, which it is. As am I exploiting it. You know, I have these things that I do snap and I do go off. And like any other production, like if it was Real Housewives, like be like, we're going to keep filming this and exploiting it for money. And I'm down to do that because really that is my only discernible mark on the internet, right? And I've been trying to get better, but I can't just change overnight. It's gonna end soon. I feel like I've been talking too long, but
yeah,
you know,
you've been really talking
on
for a long
him pushing
time.
me, which I felt he was doing in that situation, trying to push. And I was really trying to hold back. Like obviously, like you know, I didn't go off name calling or anything like that. I was trying to hold back. I didn't want that meme storming off. You know, I really was trying to like improve myself and not be that person. But I'm like, okay, if this is what we're trying to get again, another walk off, and you're pushing it this way, like there is a point where I do kind of like just black out and go. And I was holding it together. It was like right in that middle. But then
see, and it's just like in situations like that, I blacked out. I don't remember because I blacked out. I did this because I blacked out. I mean, come on. Trish, you started the fight. He was going to do a segment. You started up a fight. You started acting a certain way. It's like you had that in your brain that you were going to start up that fight. And then you started bitching about the costumes. And then when Ethan asked what was wrong with you, and you were clearly mad, then you snap at him for saying that you were mad when you know you were, and you were telling him that you weren't. And the thing that he said where she's like, wow, holy cow, I can't believe you just did that. I want to go. She literally took that so out of context. It was not even funny. The little ending part before she walked off, she like twisted it in a way where he was like mocking her mental health, but he wasn't. He said something. He said like, we'll have to maybe go there after this ends, because she even put out a tweet about the line that he said at the end of Frenemies, and it wasn't the way that she made it out to be. So she took that out of context before she stormed off. That's what she does. She twists things that people say and she takes it the wrong way, and she ends like relationships over shit like that.
And to be like, oh, like too far. It's like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it is what it is. I don't, again, as people pointed out, I don't know what the basis of frenemies being like, we don't really like each other, but we're family now or whatever. Like, that's the basis of the show and whatever. And I guess that's just is what it is. But like I said, once people start feeling disrespected, like the crew and stuff, then I was like, okay, then maybe it is going too far. Like if other, because again, that wasn't my intention, but that's how they felt. So I'm like honoring their feelings, because then I was just like, and I wasn't blaming them. And that's not maybe it's like taking myself out of a situation, which I already felt to be kind of like maybe a little uncomfortable, maybe not really my place to be anymore, not on anyone else but myself, because I was like, oh, this is like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of like their kind of thing, their kind of sense of humor, their, you know what I mean? And I've always made it clear that it wasn't my sense of humor, the H3 crew humor. It was never I never understood it. I like never watched it, never got it. So when it became more of that, right? Quarantine's over.
My gosh.
Like, you know, it just was like a huge adjustment to me that like maybe it wasn't the right fit. So maybe I sabotaged it. Maybe he did. Maybe it was just meant to be over this little 9-month span, whatever the case is. I am sad about it. It's obviously heartbreaking. And obviously on a personal level, like I keep saying, like, yes, there's no reconciliation, like obviously on camera, but like personal level, like, yeah, I want to reconcile. Everyone's like, you're making Moses choose between his family. Like, absolutely not. I don't think he has to choose at all. Everyone's invited to the wedding, and I hope everyone comes, and I hope by then everything is like calmed and cooled.
Oh my gosh. I just don't see this wedding happening. I just see this getting worse. I don't understand how he could marry her. I really don't. After all the damage that she has done, I just don't understand how he could go through with this. I really don't. It's like she doesn't even care about his feelings at all, like, and what this is doing to his family. Like, she didn't give Moses a second thought before she uploaded that video saying that she was quitting Frenemies. She didn't give him a second thought, because a normal person would have talked it out with Ethan and not filmed a video. That video was probably 40 minutes long. She could have had a conversation with Ethan.
I've owned up. I continue to own up to the shit I've done wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have so much to work on. And it's like, if he could just take like an ounce of that, you know what I mean? Like, that would be cool. That would be dope. And then maybe working on a personal, like, we're okay, you know, not besties, you know, but we're okay. Because I really do want to be okay with everybody, right? Like, truly, there is not, like, as much as Trisha wants to come back trolling and being like, you know, I truly do want peace, and I do want to hold back the Trish rants and the Trish for people that I feel should be held accountable who don't. People who can just not say sorry or not accept that they did anything wrong.
Then why don't you do that? Seriously. Like, you're so good. You criticize everyone, but you never take any accountability for yourself. Ever.
stuff like that, and not just go after every little thing on the internet that everybody does and all the gossip and the drama, blah, 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 blah. So that's the real reason Frenemies broke up in my eyes, and that's it.
I still don't know the real after watching this video, I still don't know the real reason Frenemies broke up. Are you guys confused? Because I'm confused. Because I still don't know the real reason.
Have a great Saturday. Love you guys. Sad Boy 2005 merch. Buy it, trishkin.com. Buy it, TikTok, TrishLikeFish88. Buy it, new Sad Boy album trigger warning. Buy it.
Wow. And anybody listening, don't buy her merch. Like, seriously. She's literally ripping you guys off. I'm not kidding. Those prices are ridiculous. Oh, wow. I have 130 people watching right now. Thank you, guys. Yeah, don't buy her merch. It's literally ripping everybody off. I think there's a sweatshirt that's $110, you guys. $110 for a sweatshirt. Teddy Fresh doesn't even sell sweatshirts for that much money. Ripping you guys off. Like, don't buy her merch. Don't buy her skincare. That's a ripoff. $200. Mm-mm. Oh, it's no returns too, Victoria. Yeah, like, it's ridiculous. The prices. I mean, she went from like selling like her sweatshirts at like $50 to like doubling the prices. And she says she makes no money from it, but come on, you guys, she's lying. She makes all kinds of money from it. Like, it's a ripoff. The thing about it is like the merch sold out because that's when she dropped Shane as a friend. So everybody had their eyes on her at that time. So everything sold out during that time because she was like at the height of everything. So when she went back and redesigned everything, did it more higher end with a designer, it's like she thinks she's like Teddy Fresh or something. And she's had her own little clothing line all this time when she hasn't. Those prices are ridiculous. I think it's like $12 for, or not, like 16, I think, for a mask. A little cloth mask. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, don't buy her merch. It's a ripoff, like a big ripoff. I can't believe she sold out as much as she had with it, but and I think a t-shirt was like $65 for a t-shirt. A t-shirt, you guys. A t-shirt. And the thing about her skincare is every time she promotes her skincare, she has a filter on. Every time I've seen her promote it, like heavily promote it on something, there's either a filter on her face or there's like heavy makeup on her face. I think Trisha wants to be more like I think she's kind of like trying to be more like Teddy Fresh and have her own clothing line, like she designed it, sort of thing. I think there's a lot of jealousy towards Hila, in my personal opinion. I just think Trisha has a lot of jealousy towards other females. It's just something that I've just noticed with her. I don't know. I just think that, I mean, especially with that Sam situation and everything else, like, it's just odd behavior. Really odd behavior. So, drama channels still go after Ryland. Trisha treated Ryland horribly. Horribly. It's like she's more mad at Ryland than she is anybody else. It's like she's more mad at Ryland than Hair by Jay. Which is really fucking weird because Ryland's like really sweet. Like super sweet. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And the thing about, you know, like how she leaked Ethan's DMs and that sort of thing, like when she was in that big fight with Shane, she leaked really personal, like details. And I know nobody cared because like a lot of people don't like Shane, but like it was something that I was blown away that everybody glossed over. Like personal mental health stuff that she leaked online and nobody cared. And I don't get it. Like, she does this to everybody, and she doesn't care. And when her and Moses break up, because I don't think they're going to be forever, she'll do the same thing to Moses. She'll try to ruin his life, like she has before, because she, like, said that he was talking to underage girls or some shit like that. It's just ridiculous. Nobody leaves her. Nobody. She'll ruin them. And the way that everybody just glosses over everything that she did to Jason, like Jason was really, there's a thread on Reddit that I highly recommend. Jason's ex-girlfriend actually posted an anonymous thread on Reddit trying to get like actual advice from people. And she went into details about like the trauma that Jason went through being in that relationship. And I get Jason made mistakes. I know he made like remarks about her weight, stuff like that, but it doesn't compare to the trauma that she put him through. I have no doubt Jason went through the same type of stuff behind the scenes that Moses has, that we know publicly. Because if you can drive your car into somebody else's house and chase somebody in Bora Bora to the point where he thought she was going to kill him, then I have no doubt there was some really messed up shit going on behind the scenes with them. So the way everybody glosses over what she put Jason through, I don't understand that either, because he went through a lot with her. And he's got really bad PTSD. For sure. Yeah, PTSD. And his ex-girlfriend talked about it in that Reddit thread. That Reddit thread is really, it's sad to read. If anybody has read it, you know what I'm talking about. It's sad to read. Like nightmares in the middle of the night. He'd be like shaking, that sort of thing. So I just don't understand why everybody looks over that stuff with her, because that type of stuff is stuff that lands you in jail. And I have no empathy for people that hit their partners at all. Like, I've been through it. I know what it's like. It's not okay. Not okay. And it's obviously a pattern because there is signs of it from the relationship with Jason, and it's filtering down into Moses. So that's what I'm like. That's what bothers me the most about her, is the really serious shit. So exactly, if Trisha was a male, she would have been canceled. Whoops. She would have been canceled. Yep. If Trisha, like, yeah, any male influencer would have been really canceled. I mean, it's so hypocritical. Nobody keeps the same energy for anybody. It's just like James Charles. Like, if it was a male doing what he did to a female, I think the response would have been a lot different. But because he's a male doing it to another male, it's like nobody cares. And male victims should be heard a lot more, because they're not. Nobody takes it as seriously as it is if it's a female. And that's just the facts, the sad facts of it. And it should all be taken seriously. Men are in abusive relationships all the time, and men have go through SA and everything else. It should be taken seriously. They should be equal to each other. And I don't get that. Exactly. Abuse is abuse. So But I'm gonna have to get off here, you guys. I got to get up really early in the morning. I did not think this stream was going to take this long. I should have probably made it go faster, but she was already talking really fast in that stream. So, but hit the like button if you haven't already. I'm glad I got to chat with you guys a little bit. Thanks to everybody that was watching. 136 viewers. That's awesome. And I'm going to try to stream every 2 weeks on a Saturday nights every 2 weeks. So I streamed this weekend. I probably won't stream next weekend, but it'll be the Saturday after that. But I'll keep you guys updated on when I'll do that. I'm working on a creep show art video right now. Hopefully I'll get that up next week. And yeah, so thanks for everybody that watched, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.